Thanks for tuning in. My name is Jesse, aka TheCreamy. The gameplay that you guys are watching, we'll get into that in a second. First off, I want to say this is my first time uploading onto Sakred. I am a member of Sakred, and I'm so honored to be a part of this community, the organization. I respect everybody in it, and I'm excited for what the future has. I really am. But what you guys are watching, I'm using a shotgun. I've been pretty bored with Call of Duty for the last few weeks, and I find myself just doing random things. A couple nights ago I was just running around with a pistol, and I wasn't doing particularly well, but I was having a blast because it was just so tired of this game. I don't even care anymore whether I do good or bad. I just want to keep it interesting. So that's why I decided to throw on the shotgun. I am using the FP6, and I think the shotguns are kind of overlooked in this game. I don't see a lot of people using them, and when I do, it's always that first one. I don't know what it's called, but this particular shotgun was really impressive, and I decided to upload this gameplay just to show you guys the range on the thing. The thing is pretty amazing, especially when you pair it with the Deadeye perk, and that's the main reason why I wanted to upload this, is just in case you guys haven't seen this gun in action, or you haven't tried using it. This is a really good example of how it actually works. So I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. Since this is my first time on Sakred, I wanted to talk a little bit about myself so you guys can get to know me better. First off, I'm going to jump up to when I was 21 years old. I'm not going to start off when I was younger on this video. You know, I met my wife when I was 21 years old, and I decided to ask her father for her hand in marriage after we were dating for 6 months. Really quick. They didn't know me super well, but it was something that I wanted to do. I knew right when I met my wife that I wanted to marry her. It was just one of those times, and you guys see the range on that? That was ridiculous. That guy must have been injured or something, I don't know. Getting back on the story though, the day came when I decided to go out and ask her dad if I could marry his daughter. And we went out, and the end of the day was coming around. I couldn't find, the whole day I just couldn't figure out the right time to ask. I was being a wuss. And so I decided to ask on the drive home, because that was the last bit of time that I was going to have alone with her dad. And I remember when I blurted out the words that I wanted to marry his daughter, we were driving on a 2-lane road, and he swerved off the road immediately. And he didn't turn his head. He just looked straight in front, just straight ahead, and I was paranoid. I thought he was going to run us off the road, because he didn't look to change lanes. He just swerved right on over to the dirt side of the road, and he just zoned out for like 30 seconds. It felt like 3 minutes to me. And I'm telling you guys, I thought he was going to say no. At that point, I just was like, wow, I guess maybe I should have dated his daughter a little bit longer. Got to know him better, maybe. I don't know. And he finally looked at me, and he had a little tear in his eye. And he said, "Jesse, do you know what it is to be a husband? Do you know what a husband is supposed to be?" And I don't remember what I said to this day. I honestly don't know what I said. I don't know if I failed. I obviously didn't, because he gave me permission to marry his daughter. I think maybe he was just trying to gauge to see what kind of man I was. But that was an eye-opening experience for me. You know, I realized at that time in my life that what I was doing was a big deal, and it affected more than just me. You know, it affected her whole family, and the decisions that I was going to make were going to be life-changing. And 6 months after that, me and my wife were married, so we were dating a total of a year. And then we got pregnant after our first year being married. And that whole year, you guys, didn't feel a whole lot different. I mean, living together, you know, all the perks of that felt great. But the whole commitment part didn't feel a whole lot different than when we were dating. It wasn't until we had kids that I honestly felt like it was a life-changing thing, where all of a sudden I had a family and I had a lot of responsibility. And I just still remember the first time when we were in the hospital with my oldest, my son, my wife was holding him, and me and my wife looked at each other the first time the doctors left us alone with our baby. I just remember us looking at each other, and we were just like, wow, now what? You know, it was an amazing experience, but at the same time it was terrifying because we didn't know how to be parents. And everyone's in the same boat. No one really knows how to be a parent. And I think most of us tend to go off of how we were raised, and that's kind of how we raise our kids. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. It depends on how your parents were. I was raised in a decent family. My wife was raised in a decent family, but it is so important, you guys, to read the Bible and learn how it is to be a father. The Bible is probably the greatest book you could read on how to raise your kids, how to be a husband. You know, there's a couple verses that are really important to me when it comes to my kids. Proverbs 22:6. Grow a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not turn from it. That scripture is important to me because something you'll experience if you don't have kids yet, for those of you guys that do know what I'm talking about, when you have kids, they don't know what they're doing. You have to teach them every little thing. Things that I thought they might pick up on their own, they don't just pick up on their own. You have to teach them anything from doing jumping jacks to riding a bike to putting on their shoes to brushing their teeth. Every little thing. And when it comes to growing a kid up to be a man of God, it's so important that you live what you preach. Your kids watch you, and I think the thing that made me stay a Christian and not veer from it, because I grew up in a Christian family, wasn't so much going to church and reading the Bible stories. It was watching my dad be an example in my family to make those right decisions. And that's something that I really want to try to be with my kids. I still have a long way to go. I mean, my oldest is 8, and they're all 2 years apart, so yeah, but it's a day-by-day learning process, and the greatest advice I could give you guys, be that example. You have to walk the walk if you want your kids to actually believe what you're teaching them. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. This shotgun was amazing. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Sakred, you know, they don't care about numbers, but it definitely helps to have support. So thank you guys for watching. As always, especially in this game, be sure to check your corners.